Do you know what socialism is? I gotta admit, I didn't, I mean, I know it as a concept, but as a American male, born in the U.S., I only know it as really as a concept. It's this basic thing that socialism is a basic thing, a basic belief that you own nothing and be happy, which is kind of I just pulled that from Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. That's something he's been saying. You will own nothing and be happy. And I've just been looking at that statement, and I'm like, well, that's socialism. That's I've just listened to Yeonomi Park's interview on the Shawn show. I'll include a link here. 2.5 hour interview. I had to watch it in pieces because of its impact. It was so hard to listen to. This, beautiful North Korean woman. She escaped from North Korea in 2007, and she talks about what North Korea is like. Now, that's extreme socialism. I mean, probably the most isolated country in the world. But wow, like hundreds of thousands of people murdered, genocided, put to death, human trafficking. If you think slavery ended in the 1800s, think again. I mean, unbelievable the amount of human trafficking, rape, women just sold as mistresses and sex slaves. No concept for the word I. There's no individuality. You don't say I, it's always we. Everything is expressed in terms of the party. Laws that say there must be pictures of the dictator up in every home, and if the house catches on fire, the man has to save the photo of the dictator before he saves his children. There's actually been recovered bodies of fires of men trying to save the photo of the dictator rather than get out. No concept of the word friend or brother. Everything is comrade because you're in the revolution for the party. No property ownership. You can farm a piece of land, bring it to harvest, have plenty of food. The party comes in and harvests all the food, takes it away from you. Mass starvation. What is socialism? And, I only ask the question. I think it's a powerful dialogue we all need to be in, because there's an argument that America is very much headed towards a socialist agenda with the rise of Russia and China. And I often ask people, are you prepared? Are you ready? And I usually get the majority of one of two responses. The first response is, ready for what? What's coming? What do I need to be ready for? Like, they just have no idea. That's a different video, but take your pick, right? Just from normal, natural dangers and things that happen in history, from natural disasters to government upheaval to terrorism. A dirty bomb goes off. Just are you prepared? Do you have a plan? Most Americans, no. The Amazon truck will always run. I'll always be able to Grubhub my food. Somebody will deliver whatever trash I eat to my front door. I can always call 911. A full medical team will show up in 15 minutes. A unit of police officers will show up armed with rifles and pistols and bulletproof vests, and they'll protect me. So that's the first response. And the second response is criticism, just absolute hating, critiquing, which I always kind of find funny because when I dig into these people and look at them, uh, they always have no profile photo, no name on their photo, usually very little followers, often no posts, meaning they're not showing up in life, which is particularly aggravating for me personally, because if you don't have a voice, if you're not going to show up in the game and stand in front of your opinion, you just kind of don't, like, you're lobbing critiques from the cheap seats, right? Like you're a spectator, and that's fine. Just go spectate. You're welcome to an opinion, but you're not really in the conversation. Not for me. So, what is socialism? There's very little dialogue going on about what it is and what it means. And this interview by Yeonomi Park, just a beautiful North Korean woman, she talks about this, how the North Koreans over generations have shrunk in size. They're like 5 inches shorter than other cultures, like than the South Koreans. They're across the board 5 inches shorter because their bodies have adapted for generations of starvation and lack of food. It's remarkable. I mean, you have to publicly denounce people. I mean, if you've ever read the book 1984, George Orwell, wow, I recommend the audio. The audio is riveting because it'll take you into it. Double speak. Everything has changed. You have to denounce you have to stand up and confess your sins in front of everybody once a week. And you have to be prepared to denounce someone else. You can't just not say anything. You have to publicly denounce people. And so there's just this collectiveness of shame, a robbing of individuality. She talks about how she was just trafficked from one person to the next that would rape her. And as Americans, when we think of rape, what do you think of, right? Is that a date gone bad? Is that some type of, what's the scenario? How does that go down? Is that a gang of people jumping on it? Is it strictly women? Men can be raped too. But she describes a scenario where they'll just pull over anywhere, rape you in the car, rape you out in a cornfield. I mean, think that through your mind. You ever walked through a cornfield? It's not a bed of roses. How does that even happen? They bend you over? Is there a struggle? So these conversations, I mean, her interview will spark things in your mind to think, wow, I know the spirit that came over me was just extreme gratitude, like crazy humility that I was born where I was born, into the family I was born into. Was it perfect? No. We've all got our struggles. We've all had our traumas. We've all had things that we've had to overcome. But I love the expression, your mess is your message. I've been a mess for years. And I finally was able to heal from all that. But when you hear someone who has a story such as that, it's just very leveling. It doesn't mean that any of our problems are any worse or less. It all matters. That everybody has their path. That was hers. But when you listen to someone like that went through what she went through, it's just an extreme amount of humility and grace that comes over you that just makes you think, wow, okay, maybe I put a few of these problems that I've got like in perspective. I will eat today. I will sleep today. I'm living in a relatively, free country, albeit our freedoms are being taken away, slowly but surely. So, do you know what socialism is? This is my challenge for you today. Do you know what socialism is today? America is so far removed from that because they have fought for, America as a country has fought brutally. And I know America is a huge war machine. I mean, America has bombed a lot of innocent people, but sticking to freedom for this moment. Do you know what freedom is? Do you know where it comes from? Freedom to own land, freedom to express yourself, freedom to speak out against the government. I mean, she would talk about if you're caught or you're punished, it's beatings, it's death. If the if the if if the infraction is bad enough, they'll just wipe out your whole family. If it's bad enough from there, they'll wipe it out for several generations. Just kill your whole family for 2-3 generations. Like, take your name out of history books. 1984 by George Orwell, and the interview by Yeonomi Park on the Shawn Ryan show. I'll include links on both. Just riveting. And it really makes you appreciate, what we have, and makes you, I don't know, it made me just go, wow. I mean, it's so many ways we are products of where we were born. And, I guess I chose to show up here in this century, in this time, in this part of the world as a man. I don't know if that was random or if my greater spirit chose it. Nobody really knows. That's a fascinating conversation too. But I urge you to look at what socialism is, and the slippery slope of how we get there. There's an expression: it takes a promise to get people into socialism and a revolution to get them out. And so when there's, the political left and right, which is really just wings of the same bird, controlling groups of the what is it, the Club of Rome, the Illuminati, the Big 300 Club, the WEF, the WHO, all these things that are rolling down on us. You look at it and go, okay, maybe rather than becoming Democrats and Republicans, which is somewhat of a made-up thing, maybe there's a space to become a constitutionalist. That the Constitution that was formed for America, and understanding those amendments, I sometimes just go back and read them because I forget. You the first 2 or 3 or the first 5 or 6, but I just go back and I read that Constitution and what it is and what it means, and understanding the evil, the genocide, the rape, the human trafficking, the lack of freedom, the absolute, it's not even a lack of freedom, the progressive slavery of socialism, where they take from the rich and give to the poor, and the government owns everything, and the government will provide. And just maybe just a historical, a history lesson to look at this and go, oh, okay, this has not gone well for any country. Like, we've tried it. The world has tried it multiple times, and it always ended in human death and suffering. So anyway, no lesson here for you. No great wisdom from me. Just a quick share about what I saw, and bringing together a fictional piece of art in the book 1984, which I think used to be required reading in high school. I'm not sure. And then this latest interview by Yeonomi Park on the Shawn Ryan show, and the book she's written. She's actually written a couple books, and it's just a spokesperson for human rights and socialism, and really just exposing what's going on in this regime of North Korea, and you look at a map on it, and it's all dark. Like there's no electricity. You look at North Korea and South Korea. South Korea is all lit up. North Korea, almost completely dark. No running water. Just there's electrical fences, heavily guarded and armed. She says since about 2007, 8, 9, 10, kind of right in there, people don't get out. Landmines, heavily guarded, electrical fences, armed guards, 24 hours a day will shoot on sight. It's a prison. And that is life under a dictator. So call it socialism, call it whatever you want to call it. Think about your rights as a human being, what kind of rights you have that are granted to all, just by falling under the law, land, air, water, the law of earth, the law of you being a human being. There's a movement of people and groups that are uncovering this, that are uncovering the taxation, even the things that are going on here in America, the corpse oration of America, and where your birth certificate is a contract that is sold on the open market, and you are traded. Your identity is traded, and you have all these contracts out there. It's the process of becoming a state national. I believe taxation is theft, and how to get your property out of secure it in trusts and create food farms. I've done some other posts where these people are creating amazing farms and feeding people. Later today, I go and volunteer on one, and just getting back to the land, right? And understanding what our rights are as a human being, not as an American, not as a North Korean, like the equaling process, not black, not white, not straight, not homosexual, not man, not woman, a human being. What are your rights under the law? Land, air, water, the law. That's where law comes from. And people are unpacking this. It's really beautiful work. I don't fully understand it yet, but I'm getting there. So anyway, just a quick share today. I'll put those 2 links of that book. Again, I recommend the audio, 1984, the voice inflection that you'll hear. It just takes you there. And it's just, being able to listen to it. It's riveting. And then Yeonomi Park's interview on the Shawn Ryan show. Beautiful, beautiful. She says that they're so malnourished that when she came to America, she had plenty of food, but she still couldn't get enough nutrients in her because her body and her organs, like generationally speaking, are so underdeveloped. She can't assimilate. She can't gain weight. She can't assimilate to the new nutrients. So she'll always be small. I could go on and on. Anyway, live free. I would even say die free. I'll never live enslaved. All right. Love someone today. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone that they matter. Maybe look somebody in the eye. Get out from behind these phones. Lock somebody in the eye. And just nod at them. That's something you can really do. It's powerful for a man. If you lock them in the eye, just kind of gently smile. It's like a pressed lip kind of smile. And just nod. It's like a sign of respect for men. Very powerful. It's really great man to man. Women can do it too. For a woman, it's also locking eyes. It's bright eyes. Show them your teeth, right? Everybody's looking at you and subconsciously saying and trying to evaluate in a split second, friend or foe. Split second. Is this person going to hurt me or are they for me? We can show people that. And conversely, you can stare down evil, right? Stare down evil. I've done it. I've done it many times. Smile at evil. Not in any form. A lot of people say that's judgmental. A lot of people say, oh, Robin, where's the love? You don't love evil. You condemn it. I dare say you judge it. And you get in front of it and you say no. You do that peacefully. You say no. No, you're not gonna create evil with our children, with our women. Men, learn how to stand up. Learn how to use your voice. Go to your kids' school. See what they're learning. Stand up for your wife. If she's put down or somebody says something slighting to her. Women, do the same thing for the people you love. Correct them in private. Correct them in private and critique them. Correct and critique them in private, and celebrate them in public. Yeah, celebrate each other. Celebrate yourself. Right? People treat you the way you let them treat you, but they love you the way you love yourself. So I don't let people talk bad to me. Not one, ever. I just don't. So, hey, I don't like what you said there. That's not accurate for me. I have no problem. I don't care if it's a boss. I don't care if it's somebody in authority. I don't care. Just don't care. It matters. Words matter. This is the vibrational pressing our lips together and pushing and pulling air. It's really an archaic way of communication if you think about it. But that's the way we communicate verbally, just energetically, body language. Stand up for yourself, love yourself. That adds to the collective energy. That adds to the collective spirit of people that are strong, that are resilient, that understand their rights, and that will stand up for them and stand up for other people. That's how we make a better world. Anyway, I told you I didn't have any message of wisdom. Maybe this is, maybe this isn't. But anyway, my heart softened in that moment when I talked about Yeonomi and what she's been through. Bless her heart. Jeez, what a blessing some of these people are that come and share their stories. So brave. So brave. And you have a story too, right? You have a story. You have something. Someone that's watching you, looking for a way out of what they're in. And they're watching you. And they just need to know that they can get out of it, right? I'm doing dips. I'm on my walk. Anyway, love you guys. Shoot me a message if I can help you, if I can encourage you. Reminder, pray. Please pray. I'm such a prayer warrior. If you need prayer, just reach out to me. Happy to pray with you. I'll show you how to pray where it'll totally make a difference. It isn't any clasping of the hands and bowing and being all meek. No, man, this is warrior prayers. We'll use Ephesians 6. Get the spiritual armor up you. If you don't know about Ephesians 6, I encourage you to read that. Spiritual armor of God, pulling demons and disembodied entities off of you, and really be able to flow and get the Spirit of God on your side. Happy to help you do that. Do that all the time. I was taught about 10 years ago, and I'm actually a licensed minister. One of the many things I've done. And I'll help you do that. All right? Go get them today, guys. Love you all.